Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning. Today we will discuss sampling a population. Again, this is course research methodology in education, and today we will discuss sampling. Now, before we discuss the good and bad techniques in sampling, first let us discuss some important concepts in this regard. Let's start with population. Population is a very important concept in conducting any research or study. You are looking for your population or the population of the study. What is population? It is the larger group from which individuals are selected to participate in your study. So the population, it is the large group that you are interested in studying or in applying your research. Okay, we cannot study all the population, all members in population. That's why we are going to discuss something called sample. What is sample? Sample members or representatives selected for a study. Those representatives have characteristics or common characteristics which represents the large or exemplify the large group from which they were selected. So we have the large group, we call it population, and we have the smaller group which represent the larger group, and we call this smaller group sample. Now we have sample and we have sampling. We have to differentiate between those two concepts. Now we said sample, the representative selected from the population, while sampling, it is the process by which we select numbers of individuals for a study in such a way that the individuals represents the larger group from which they were selected. So sampling, it is the process in selecting sample from population. Now, it's very important to remember that sample should be representative for population. If it is not representative, it is a big problem here. Why? Let's take a closer look. But first of all, let's just remember that the purpose of sampling is to collect or gather data about the population in order to make an inference that can be generalized to the population. This is a very important statement here. Now we want to make inference after we collect data from the sample and we analyze the data. Now we have inference. What is inference? Inference conclusion reached on the basis of evidence and reasoning. So we have inference and we want to generalize this inference. We can generalize inferences or conclusions come up with, or the findings come up from your study unless the sample or your sample is representative. If it is not representative, then at that time we can generalize the inferences. Okay. Now, suppose that the large group represents the population and we select from this population the smaller group sample. Now we are looking for inferences after data analysis. Okay. Now, if the sample is representative, is the sample representative? It's a very big and important question. Is the sample representative? Yes, if it is representative, then the inference will be generalizable. So if the sample representative, inference will be generalized. If it is not representative, then inference will not be generalized. That's why it is very, very important to have a representative sample. Okay, how can I select my sample? Well, there are many techniques or methods. Let's just have a closer look at type of sampling. Now we have probability versus non-probability samples. We can say that samples methods falls into one of two categories. One of two categories. The first category is probability samples. Now with probability sampling methods, each population has an equal opportunity or chance to be selected in applying or in the sample. Or with probability sampling methods, each population element has no non-zero chance of being chosen for the sample. Now we have the other category, which is non-probability samples. With non-probability samples methods, we don't know that the probability that each population element or members will be chosen, and or we cannot be sure that each element or population has a non-zero chance of being chosen. So we have probability sample. The main idea here is each element or member has an equal chance to be selected. But here in non-probability sample, we don't have this equal chance for each member, and we don't even know if this element has a non-zero chance of being chosen. Today, we will start discussing number two, which is non-probability sampling, and we will start with the convenience sample. Now, convenience sample, this is one of the bad techniques in solving or in sampling, and it's called convenience. Why it's called convenience? Because it is made up of people who are easy to reach. Well, let me explain this very simple idea. Suppose that the population here is all the happy faces, which composed of green, blue, orange happy faces. And this is our researcher. And this researcher has a survey. He wants to administer this survey, or he wants to, let's say, interview the sample. So he wants to select sample from this big population. So the convenience, well, he will select the happy faces which are very close to him. So he needs, let's say, 12 happy faces. So he's going to select, let's say, those 12. Let's say he's going to select those 12 persons. Let me talk it one by one. This is number one, number two, number three, number four, five, six, seven, eight, 9, 10, 11, 12. Those are the sample. Why? Convenience. They are very close to him, so he selected them. Now let's take a look at this convenience. We have four blue, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green, and just two orange. Obviously, this sample is not representative. It is don't forget, this is non-probability sampling. So as you see, it is not a good way to select sample. And it is certainly it is not representative. That's why the inference that you are going to come up with your study is not generalizable. So this is the first one of non-probability sampling, convenience sample. Well, let's go to number two. Number two of also non-probability sample. It is called voluntary sample. A voluntary sample is made up of people who self-select in the study or in the survey, or those people who want or select to participate in your study. They are interested in your study. Suppose that you want to conduct a study about teaching methods, and on, let's say, on people working on any school, let's say. So you will have students or classroom that is interested in this topic, which is teaching methods, while students who are not interested or teachers who are not interested, they are not going to select. So they are voluntary. Suppose that again, this is our researcher and this is the population, and he just post a request that who wants to participate in my survey or on my study. Then well, this person is interested, another person is interested here, this person is also interested, this person is also interested, another way. another man here, another happy face here, and then we have this and we have this. Let's say we need 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, we are talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blue and 2 orange and 3 green. It is again not representative. So today we discussed the convenience sample and voluntary sample. Both of them are non-probability sampling method. Well, for today, thank you very much. Be safe, stay home, take care of yourself and your family. في أمان الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.